In Australia, on Saturday the 6th of June, thousands of protesters gathered on the steps of Old Melbourne Parliament in support of the global Black Lives Matter movement. Here the protests focus especially on the oppression that Australian Indigenous communities have faced at the hands of systemic racism. Much of the outrage was signalled towards the deaths of Indigenous Australians in police custody, which paralleled many cases seen in the US. We asked a few protesters their thoughts on such issues.
I remember the riots of the 60s and the 70s in the States. I hoped I would never ever see that again. Unfortunately, I have. And now is the time for worldwide people to move, to stop the way the police are being taught to deal with confrontation.
Accountability, a lot of accountability and education in our schooling, so that I don't have to explain to my young ones why this is still happening like we had to when we were growing up. We don't want this to be a story 20 years down the track that we're marching with our kids. We want fairness and we want it now, and we want to be recognised that we are the first people of this country and we deserve to be treated respectfully and fairly.
They need to be taught compassion. They need to be taught kindness, dare I say. They need to be taught to treat people with respect.
We're talking about equality here. It's a God-given right. You know, in the end of the day, the same way how me and you look at each other, we shouldn't judge each other based on our appearances. Do you know what I mean? And we're only fighting to say that how people are judged and treated from one colour to another, there should be some consistency in that. We don't want no special treatment, no one does, you know what I mean? Look at all the people here. Look how many different multicolour, how many people of different ethnicity from different backgrounds, all saying the same thing. But we can mobilise like this, but until systematic change happens, nothing will change. But it takes all of us here to mobilise to start voting. All of us here to start getting into government officials, you know what I mean? We've got to start educating ourselves properly, because without organisation and structure, we are no different, and that's truth right there. So we need to show that we are better. We don't need to do exactly the same thing that happens to us, but we need to make the world a better place for everyone, and that also does include people that are oppressing us as well, do you know what I mean? Because this world is for everyone, so we need to come to a compromise now, how we're going to make this world better for everyone.
There's been big denial across the country. There's still no justice that's been served to all the people who've lost their lives at the hand of the justice system. That's worldwide, so right now there's worldwide attention, bringing it to our issues, and it's time that justice is served and the people wake up to what's really happening here.
Aboriginals were known as flora and fauna in this country. They're not even treated as humans. We need to do something about that.
Yeah. And what changes do you want to see be made personally?
I would like to see that we're treated as equals. I would like to see equal rights for all colours, everybody that's here, but especially for the people that can't get. There's all this talk about everybody gets these handouts. There's no such thing. It's rubbish. It's a lie, and the lies need to stop. Yeah. I'd like to see some changes to the laws, and I'd like to see freedom for the people.
Well, I just feel like it's finally talking about injustices that we've been suppressing for a long time. Acting like it's not here. You can't run away from it now. You see how many people are here. Yeah, we're just trying to deal with it.
And why do you think it's important to protest now, even in the midst of the global pandemic that's going on?
Because the global pandemic's a load of crock, just the way that we live our life. If you can understand that concept and understand the suppression or the oppression that you've lived or you've based your life on for the last couple of months, imagine how many years people have been put onto themselves. Yeah, like not even they didn't put on themselves, I apologise. My words are a bit today.
It's stressful, but...
Yeah, so that's why I choose not to speak, because it's not our time. I think that's the most important thing to say. It's like, as much as you're getting my word right now, you're getting a valid word. It's not what's supposed to be heard. We're supposed to be out there listening to what they have to say. And I think that's why the crowds have congregated for a one chance to be able to educate themselves. And that's why it's such a wonderful thing to see such large numbers, because it provides that knowledge to everyone to be like, all right, well, I can walk out of my bedroom. I'm not going to get looked at like an idiot.
Absolutely every single coloured person in the world is at risk from the people that enforce the law. It's not all right.
And why do you think it's important to protest even now in the middle of the pandemic that's going on?
The world's watching right now. We are always out protesting. We're always out marching. We're always sharing online and whatnot. But people don't pay attention. Now the world's watching, maybe people will pretend to care at least. So. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Well, I think we need to tear down the whole, racist police system in every country all around the world. I think people need to keep fighting until the whole thing's burned to the ground, in my opinion, and we build a world based on human need and not corporate greed, oppression, exploitation. Yeah, that's kind of what I think we need to do.
And why do you think it's important to protest even despite the pandemic that's going on at the moment?
Well, I don't think we get to choose a moment where politics happens, and I think that it's important to take those moments and run with them when they happen. And when millions of people all around the world call out for justice, then I want to be there, I want to be a part of that. So,
why do you think that this movement is important in Australia?
Because Australia, even though we don't have the same level of issues as America does, we still have Aboriginal people in custody and Aboriginal people dying in custody at a rate that's unacceptable.
This movement is important in Australia because Black Lives Matter so much, and the things that are happening to black people is so fucking wrong, and they matter so much, and it doesn't make sense to me. I just think they matter so much, and it's so stupid that people kill people because of the colour of their skin.
Do you have any ideas of what changes you would want to see?
I guess more elders having a say. More land rights, back to their rightful owners would be a good start.
Protesting is an essential service, and making sure that people's voices are heard on this issue is an essential service. And so people have protection and they're doing the best they can, but it's important to be out here anyway.